A Plaguelands Media production.
Hey everyone, this is Hugh from Plaguelands Media bringing you another book look, but it's not a review. I'm actually going to be playing through a game book, so there are going to be massive spoilers. Now, I've already talked about these on the channel. Fighting fantasy books. The very first fighting fantasy book I got, I was 10 years old. It was for my 10th birthday, and it was Phantoms of Fear. Now, I absolutely love these. These are role-playing games in a book with some choose-your-own-adventure style stuff. And I've always wanted to play one live on the channel, so I thought, why not do it today? I will be playing The Port of Peril by Ian Livingstone. Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone created Fighting Fantasy, but a lot of you might not know that they also created Games Workshop. There is a story about that journey out at the moment. It's a book called Dice Man that you can pick up. But, yep, Port of Peril, I'm going to be playing it from beginning to end. So there's going to be a lot of me reading. If you hate the sound of my fucking voice, fuck off. Otherwise, enjoy the adventure that is the Port of Peril. Let's get into the next episode of... So, today I'm going to be playing a fighting fantasy game book, Port of Peril by Ian Livingstone, chosen by my good friend Ian Van Gammon. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say how shit the covers are compared to the old fighting fantasy covers. I mean, you can just tell the difference straight away. But, you know what? That is... inconsequential. So, I'm not going to be using the... Oh, another thing about these new Fighting Fantasy books is all of the information to play them is at the back, where it used to be at the front, which is a little fucking annoying. This is the adventure sheet. I'm, of course, not going to be using this because I don't like writing in these books. We have to determine our skill, stamina, and luck for our game. To do that, it's simple dice rolling. So to determine our skill, we roll a d6 and add 6, and we have 9 skill. Stamina is 2d6 plus 12, 19 stamina. And luck is 1d6 plus 6, which is 12. Awesome. We already have our equipment. We have a sword, leather armor, shield, backpack, and a potion of fortune. And we have 10 provisions, which we can eat to get back stamina if we need it. Okay, so let's... I'm not sure how much gold we start with, if any. It doesn't say... Okay, I guess we start with no gold. This is going to be a lot of reading, so bear that in mind. Okay, Chalice is an affluent town on the north bank of Silver River, a wide twisting river which flows gently down from the Moonstone Hills to merge with Catfish River on its way to the Western Ocean. It began as nothing more than a merchant store built at the end of a wooden jetty used by river traders to land their goods. At first, trade was very slow, and the merchant complained he'd been handed a poisoned chalice. Trade slowly improved, but the name stuck, and over time, Chalice grew to become a busy river port. Chalice's inhabitants are mostly human, and it is also home to a number of other races. There are elves, who seem to know more about what's going on than anyone else, striders, who run around town on their spindly long legs doing errands, man-orcs, who are usually hired as guards, gnomes, who spend most of their time slurping down bowls of pea soup, two beefy ogres who hire themselves out to do most of the heavy lifting jobs, and an unusually friendly Cyclops who arrived one day long ago with goods to trade and never left. He acquired the nickname of Cy, became a blacksmith, and quickly built a reputation as the best smithy in Chalice. He later turned his skills to crafting the finest swords in northern Alancia, but never made more than one a month as he refused to compromise on quality. Cy proudly sells his famous one-eye swords for 50 gold pieces each, the quality price for a quality product, as he says with gusto to his customers, and he's never short of those. Commerce is the main reason Chalice's prosperity. Merchants arrive from all over Alancia to sell their wares in the town, where prices are always at a premium. Vendors pack the market square 6 days a week, selling weapons, armor, potions, lotions, herbs, spices, grains, livestock, semi-precious stones, jewelry, silk, furs, fine textiles, and exotic foodstuffs. Money changes hands from dawn till dusk in brisk trading. Although Chalice has its fair share of impoverished folk, it affords nobles, merchants, landlords, and innkeepers a fine living, and like any large town with wealthy inhabitants, Chalice also attracts pickpockets and thieves who see the opportunity to relieve some of the more naive townsfolk of their hard-earned silver and gold. Young con artists learn about devious skills in Chalice, spinning yarns and practicing their scams on the locals. If they don't get caught, the best of them journey downriver to try their luck on the citizens of Port Blacksand, where they must compete with hardened professional thieves and vagabonds. You are a seasoned adventurer, an experienced sword for hire who enjoys slaying monsters and finding treasures above anything else. Despite some memorable adventures, you have learned the hard way that treasure hunting does not always guarantee the reward of glittering gold. More often than not, treasure hunters come back from their expeditions empty-handed. And when they don't go well, adventurers reluctantly have to resort to working for others, usually earning a low wage guarding rich nobles' estates or protecting merchants' caravans on their journeys to market. You recently arrived in Chalice, tired and hungry after spending a month scouring the pagan plains, trying but failing to find the buried treasure hoard of Throm, the notorious axe-wielding barbarian who, rumour has it, died in Baron Succumvid's infamous death trap dungeon in Fang, trying to win the grand prize of 10,000 gold pieces. Your days spent in Chalice have been anything but enjoyable. Unable to work, you are forced to sleep rough in alleyways, scavenging for scraps of food, left abandoned by traders in the market square at the end of the day. It is a warm evening on day 4 of your stay. The sun is slowly sinking in the western sky and the light is beginning to fade. You are standing outside the Fat Frog Inn, drooling over the menu nailed to the oak door when two men stagger out arm in arm. One is middle-aged, bearded and wearing a brown leather tunic over dark green leggings, while the younger one is wearing a checked woolen shirt tucked into his baggy brown pants. Both men are giggling like children, very much the worse for the amount of ale they have drunk. They brush past you, oblivious to everything. The younger man is hiccuping and swaying erratically from side to side. He tries to grab hold of the back of the wooden bench to steady himself, but misses it and falls over, cursing. This causes his friend to laugh even harder. The younger man sits up, squinting in the bright light, his mouth hanging open like a gormless fool. "Eric!" the young man splutters, hiccuping. "What?" "Stop laughing at me." "Why?" "Because I'm going to be rich." "Shut up," the older man replies dismissively. I'm going to be rich. I bought a treasure map." He retorts, reaching into the pocket to produce an old piece of parchment as evidence. Too drunk to notice that he's holding it upside down, he stares at it with a befuddled expression on his face. Although you're well within earshot, you pretend not to be listening. "How much you pay for it?" 4 copper pieces. 4 copper pieces? What a fool you are. There's not a hope that it's genuine. You've been done, Gregor, the old man says, laughing even louder. "Stitched up like a kipper, a fool chasing fool's gold. That's what you are, and you don't learn, do you? You can't believe anything anyone says in the Fat Frog Inn." But the old man seemed so genuine. He had a face like all the other sharks and villains in there giving it large. I want to believe him. I did believe him.
Are you going to go in and get your money back? No, the poor man needed the money. He sounded desperate. I feel sorry for him. That's why I bought the map. Really, no hard feelings. I enjoyed listening to... I don't know why he sounded like Barney fucking Gumble. I enjoyed listening to his tale about the iron chest filled with golden amulets. He said it was hidden deep inside a cave in Moonstone Hills, and he kept going on about a gold ring in the chest. Said it was more valuable than all the amulets put together. What did he call it again? The ring of... oh, fiddle. I don't remember now. Doesn't matter anyway. If it wasn't true, or you can say it isn't true, or whatever. Forget about it, Gregor. He made it all up. The ring of burning snakes, that's what he called it. He said it used to belong to an old wizard called Nico, or Nico something or other. He said the wizard would pay you a pretty penny to get it back. I said forget about it, Greg. Come on, get up. Let's try the Sun Inn next. I'm thirsty. Eric says sternly, pulling his friend up off the ground. All right, all right. I won't be needing this then. Greg says, crumpling up the parchment in a ball and tossing it over his shoulder before staggering off. The parchment ball lands by your feet. Intrigued, you bend down to pick it up. You unfold it to reveal a very detailed hand-drawn map of the land surrounding Chalice. The map shows a dotted line heading north from Chalice, then east, some way south of Darkwood Forest, crossing the eastern plain to Moonstone Hills, where a large X marks the entrance to a cave in Skull Crag, one of the highest peaks in the range. There is a message in tiny handwriting, written in black ink on the back of the map, which says, "Do not enter the cave entrance. Do not enter by the cave entrance. Climb the crag to a ledge 20 meters above. Move the standing branches aside to reveal the secret entrance. Enter here and turn left, right at the junctions. An iron chest will be found in the crystal cave. Good luck, Murgat Shur." Could the treasure chest really lie hidden in a cave inside Skull Crag? Why would an old man sell his secrets for a few copper pieces, and who is Murgat Shur? Nothing made sense. You're about to toss the map away when you hear a shrill squawk of a bird overhead. You look up to see a crow flying north. Could it be an omen? Could this be your lucky day after all? You decide you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You fold up the parchment, put it safely away in your pocket. Tomorrow you'll set off for Skull Crag, but right now you need to find some food and somewhere to sleep before nightfall. Okay, that was a long background, longer than usual. I'm going to need something to tide me over. Now, one thing to note, if you don't have dice, there are 2 dice on the bottom of these pages, so you can just flip through and play the book wherever you are. Okay, your adventure awaits. May your stamina never fail. You fail to find any food and resign yourself to sleeping on some old flour sacks left outside a baker's shop at the end of an alley. You place your blanket on top of the sacks and lie down as darkness falls, ending the day exhausted and very hungry. You hear a dog sniffing nearby, but eventually fall asleep, dreaming of treasure chests overflowing with gold pieces and diamonds. Reality returns early the following morning when you are rudely woken, not long after sunrise, by the sound of cockerels crowing loudly. The air is chill, but the skies are clear. At least another fine day is in store. You grab your trusty sword, roll up your blanket, and check your few belongings you have in your backpack. They don't amount to much. A ball of twine, a candle, a small brass bell, an oil lantern, a knife, a piece of chalk, a brass owl, a length of rope, a bag of copper nails, an animal skin water flask, and a goblet bearing a unicorn head motif. Okay. I should be writing all of this down on here. I'm not going to. You make your way to town square and fill your flask with water, which flows from the spout of a fountain carved in the shape of a dragon's head. After quenching your thirst, you search through a pile of rubbish and find some squashed tomatoes and a chunk of bread left to rot in a wooden crate. The bread is stale, but right now, a tomato sandwich seems like the breakfast of champions. Add 1 stamina point. I'm at maximum, so I'm not going to do that. The sandwich takes the edge off your hunger, but you know you could eat more. There is nobody about except for a tall middle-aged man with curly brown hair who is whistling happily to himself as he sweeps the square with a long broom. A leather shoulder bag is slung over his back. If you want to talk to him, go to 19. If you would rather leave the market square, go to 58. I'm going to talk to him. You call out to the street sweeper, but he ignores you. What a fucking cunt. And carries on whistling to himself while he works. If you want to ask him if he has any food to trade for an item in your backpack, if you would rather leave the market square. He ignored me, so I'm fucking walking off. Fuck him. Okay. There are 3 streets by which you could leave the market square. Do I head west down Silver Street, north down Armory Lane, or east down Beggar Alley? I'm going down Beggar Alley. Fuck it. Oh, what's that? 283. Beggar Alley is a narrow, potholed dirt track hardly wide enough to drive a horse and cart down. Dark and decrepit stone and wood houses line the alley, all of them long in need of repair. There is rubbish everywhere, and the putrid stench of open sewers fills the air. Beggars in ragged clothing stand hunched in doorways, their arms outstretched like lost souls pleading, hoping that you might gift them a coin or two. If you have any copper pieces, I'm not going to give them copper pieces, you begging pieces of shit. I'm going to 311. At the end of the alley, there is a dark alley, there is a wooden barrel standing in front of a heavy oak door of a gloomy-looking house built of dark stone with black shuttered windows bolted shut. Do I look in the barrel, knock on the oak door, walk onto the T-junction? I'm looking in the barrel. You lift the lid off the barrel, releasing 2 very large rats, which are trapped inside. They leap out, one of them jumping onto your shoulder, gripping your tunic with its sharp claws. It leaps forward to bite your neck. Roll 2 dice. I'm making a skill check. I've got to get less than 9 on 2 dice. And I got an 8. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your skill score, turn to 48. It was. You react quickly, grabbing hold of the rat before it can bite you and smash its head against the barrel, killing it instantly. The other rat scurries off into the shadows. You peer into the barrel, but there is nothing inside except for rain-soaked old rags and the rotting carcass of a dead dog. The smell is unbearable. If you want to knock on the front door of the house, I do. 349. The large door is yanked open by a huge bald man wearing a dirty vest and grubby trousers. He looks very angry. I hate door-to-door vendors, he screams in your face. Before you can protest your innocence, he smashes you over the head with a chair leg and slams the door. Lose 2 stamina. Okay. I'm at 17. You decide against knocking on the door again and walk to the T-junction at the end of the alley. 206. Lion Street is cobbled and much wider and brighter than Beggar's Alley. It certainly looks to be a more affluent part of town. On the opposite side, a high wall runs the length of the street. There are stone gargoyles fixed to the top of the wall every 10 metres or so, staring down threateningly at all who might pass by. Above the wall, you can see the top floor and a roof of a large mansion house. Whoever lives there obviously wants privacy and does not welcome visitors. On the near side of the street, there are a few shops to your right and houses to your left. Will you try to climb over the wall of the mansion house, take a look at the houses, or take a look in the shop windows? I'm pretty desperate. I'm climbing over the wall. The wall is some 4 meters high and made of smooth stone. There is nothing to take hold of to climb up. You look down the street and see 2 men walking towards you in white hats and aprons, their faces dusted with flour. They are bakers and look very tired from kneading heavy dough and baking bread since dawn. Will you ask the bakers to help lift you over the wall? Forget the idea and look at the houses. The bakers aren't going to help me. I mean, there's no fucking way. I'm I'm just going to go look at the houses. Forget about that. It's a bad idea. There are 5 houses in a row, all of them grand and in very good order, no doubt owned by some of the rich merchants of Chalice. You hear the noise of a window sliding open above you and look up to see a woman with long curly hair lean out and yell at you not to look in her windows. "Go away," she screams in rage and throws a chamber pot down at you. Test your luck. Okay, my luck is 12. Because I tested luck, I lose a luck point, so I'm now at 11. But I passed. I am lucky. 271. The chamber pot crashes to the ground in front of you, breaking into tiny pieces. The woman curses and slams her bedroom window shut. You peer through the windows of the remaining houses, but there doesn't seem to be anybody home. You decide to walk over to the shops. Well, that was a waste of fucking time, wasn't it? All right. Okay, there are 5 shops in the street. A florist, a locksmith, a bookshop, a candle shop, and a wool shop. There is a closed sign on the door of the bookshop, and the only other shop of interest to you is the locksmith's. You walk inside and are greeted by a tall, fair-haired man wearing a dark green apron over his striped shirt. He smiles warmly and asks how he can help. You reply that you're about to go on a mission to find a treasure chest hidden in a cave, explaining you might need a special key to open it. Well, I can't sell you a key to open a chest I've never seen, so I suggest you make a bulk purchase in hopes that one might do the job. I sell bunches of 20 assorted brass keys for 1 gold piece. You might need more than 1 key, you never know. I've got 1 bunch of keys left. Do you want to buy it? Pay the locksmith 1 gold piece. I don't know how many gold I am supposed to start with. That's the thing. Let me just check. Skill, stamina, luck. Using luck in battles. Stamina, provisions. Restoring skill, equipment. Doesn't tell you how much gold you start with, which is weird. I'm just going to pay him 1 gold. Let's just, you know what, I'm just going to roll a d6. That's how much gold I have. So now I have 2 gold left. And I have keys. 20 brass keys. You chat for a few minutes before leaving the locksmiths. If you haven't already done so, you can climb over the wall. I'm just going to leave this city. I fucking hate Chalice. Pissing me off. You walk out the main gates of Chalice, heading north, looking back briefly at the town's rooftops and towers sticking out above the outer wall. You follow a well-worn path past a church ruin, an ancient graveyard, and on past scattered dwellings until you reach a farm where the path ends at the edge of a vast field of golden corn, the tall stems swaying slowly from side to side in the gentle breeze. It's going to be a bumper crop, and good news for the farmers whose oxen will soon be hauling wooden carts through the field for their farmhands to load with cobs of corn. Looking north as far as you can see, way beyond the cornfield, you can just make out the top of a high wall of trees that marks the edge of Darkwood Forest, the vast forest that is home to the grand and sometimes grumpy old wizard Yaztromol, who lives in his fabled tower. Many a tale and myth have come from Darkwood Forest, but you remind yourself that Skull Crag is your destination today. You look at your map and head east in the warm sunlight, eager to reach Moonstone Hills before nightfall. As you walk along the edge of the cornfield, lost in thought, you suddenly hear the sound of galloping hooves and the shrill call of a hunting horn. If you want to face the rider coming towards you, if you'd rather hide in the cornfield. I'm going to face the rider because I'm no fucking coward. 263. The thundering noise of galloping hooves gets louder as the horseman approaches. You see that the rider is wearing flowing black robes which trail behind him in the wind. You raise your arm to stop the horseman, but he carries on at full speed, blowing his hunting horn and gesturing at you to get out of the way. The horse bears down on you and you have to dive out of the way. Test your luck. I got a 6. My luck goes down to 10. If you are lucky, I am. You pick yourself up out of the dirt, none the worse for wear, and watch the horseman disappear west into the cloud of dust. Whoever it was on horseback is certainly in a hurry. You decide you might as well help yourself to some corn. Add 1 stamina. Okay, so that guy hit me on the fucking head. I just got a stamina back, so joke's on you, dickhead. Looking east, you start to estimate it will be dark by the time you reach Skull Crag and hope you'll be able to find somewhere safe to camp down for the night. Looking south, you see a semi-ruined stone cottage with its thatched roof mostly missing because of a fire. If you want to take a look inside the cottage or press on to the Moonstone Hills. I'm going to go look in the cottage. Okay. You open the rickety door and walk inside, cautiously sword in hand. Looking at you with surprised expressions on their faces are 2 man-orcs sitting on stools eating rats with their hands. They have dark green warty skin and are wearing light leather armor. They jump up and grab their short swords, snarling and flashing their spiked teeth and tusks as they leap forward to attack you. Fight them one at a time. Okay. So we have man-orc with a stamina of 6. Man-orc with a stamina of 4. Okay, combat is very simple. I roll 2 dice, add my skill. Roll 2 dice, add their skill. Whoever is higher, they lose health. So they are both skill 5. I'll just write this here. Okay, and let's put that down for a moment. So, my skill for this combat against the first man-orc, it can't win. He goes down to 4 health. Okay, so I have 9, 10, 16. He has 5, 10, 16. So we draw. I have 16. He has 12. I have 14. He has 12, so I've killed the first one. Second one, that is 9, 10, 16. Okay. 9, 15, and he has 5, 6, 9, 12. So I have killed both of the man-orcs without taking a hit. If you win, turn to 229. Okay. The man-orcs have leather pouches on their belts, which you empty out on the floor. You find a copper piece, 7 teeth, a silver button, a glass eye, an arrowhead, and 3 polished stones. Okay. I'm just going to put 229 up here so I can remember what I have. After taking what you want, you look around the room to see if there's anything else that might be of use to you. There are 5 jars on a shelf containing rat tails, small bones, worms, dead flies, and sheep eyeballs. You have room in your backpack for 1 jar, but if you want to take more, you'll have to leave something behind for each additional jar you take. I'm going to take the worms, actually. Take the jar of worms. In the far corner of the room, you discover a wooden trapdoor, partly hidden by an old iron stove. If you want to move the stove to unbolt the trapdoor, yes, I definitely do. 130. This is probably a bad idea. The trapdoor lifts to reveal a narrow wooden staircase leading down to a dark cellar. There is a very unpleasant smell wafting up like rotten meat. You hear the sound of feet dragging along the floor below and a rasping, guttural sound like a sickly death rattle. Yeah, I'm going down to investigate. This is like the Evil fucking Dead. Hell yeah. 323. With your sword drawn, you slowly descend the wooden stairway into semi-darkness. You're about halfway down the steps when a sickly grey hand reaches out from the shadows and grabs your ankle. An unseen creature goes berserk, wailing loudly as it tries to bite your leg. You swing your sword blindly at your attacker. Test your luck. My luck at the moment is 10. And I pass. Goes down to 9. Okay, 199. Your sword finds its mark sinking into your attacker's shoulder with a dull thud. It makes a gurgling sound in its throat but increases its grip on your ankle. The creature shuffles into the shaft of light shining down from the room above, and you see it has pallid grey skin covered with festering sores. Its gaping mouth is torn away on one side to reveal broken black teeth and a lolling tongue, and its sunken eyes are red-rimmed and lifeless. Oblivious to the gaping wound in its shoulder, the zombie lurches forward, trying to bite you. You must fight the undead creature. Fucking told you it was going to be some Evil Dead shit, didn't I? That's what being a nerd does. Zombie, skill 6, stamina 5. Okay, I have skill 9, it has skill 6. Okay, yep. Skill 9, look at that. Can't win. And finally, skill 9, plus 8. Skill 6 plus 8. I easily defeated the zombie. Turn to 67. The zombie corpse twitches on the cellar floor before finally coming to rest. Your eyes adjust to the gloom and you see that the cellar has bare stone walls and is no more than 6 square meters in size. The word "help me" are written in dried blood on one of the walls. There is also an arrow drawn in blood on the opposite wall which points to a small crack in the wall. Suddenly you hear footsteps from above. Someone has entered the cottage and is walking across the floorboards towards the trapdoor. If you want to run up the steps or stay where you are. I'm staying where I am. Fuck that shit. This dude had a zombie in the cellar. 109. An ugly green face appears at the top of the stairs and glares down at you. It's another man-orc and is very angry to find its friends lying dead on the floor. It points at you and starts screaming and shouting in a language you don't understand. Before you have time to do anything, the man-orc slams the trapdoor down and bolts it shut. Fuck me. You hear something being dragged across the floorboards and realize the man-orc is sliding the iron stove on top of the trapdoor to make sure you don't escape. You hear footsteps walking away and the front door being closed. You are left alone in pitch black darkness and there is no way out. Your adventure is over. Okay, well, that is how I die in Port of Peril by Ian Livingstone, a fighting fantasy game book. I absolutely fucking love these things. That was a ride. I had an absolute blast playing that one. And if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Go and check these out. These are fun as shit. Absolutely love them. Solo role-playing games, basically. I do have more. If you enjoyed them, I am more than willing to play more on the channel, especially the older ones, which have, like, much better artwork, of course. But there you have it. We died in a basement, all because a man-orc got pissed off that I killed his friends. Okay, please everyone, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Like I said, hit the notification bell, but most importantly, stay safe. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.